What is up, everybody? How are you? How you living? How you feeling? How you doing? Welcome to Sims and Left Go Live on a Monday. It is our news episode of the podcast, and we are recording live on Facebook. Lucky enough, Jeremy Starr in the middle of an African jungle, but still enough internet to watch the pod.
Yes, don't shoot any of those damn animals.
Don't shoot them.
Enjoy and look at them. You better not shoot them.
Put on your comments. Enter your comments into the comment section here, and we will get to as many as possible. We have a big show. We're going to talk about Edelman and the impact on the Patriots now that he is hurt. We're going to get Sims's reaction to Bortles officially starting. Hold it in. Very excited to hear it. And the quarterback that Sims right now is, Sims says, is playing Aaron Rodgers-ish. We're going to have all that coming up. And Keith Mooney, I promise I will not bash the Brits. I had some Englishmen get angry at me because I said that it was a plot from the NFL to pretend that people in England like the NFL. They were like, no, we love it.
See?
And I was like,
I told you.
They were so angry at me. It was really
You
tough.
think the NFL would go over there and waste millions just to hey, let's make it look good in London. The group of people that will cut a player for 5 cents.
Sometimes. Yeah, I do. I was actually in Austin, Texas for the past week.
Hook 'em horns.
And so I actually saw that hurricane coming in. And I wanted to put out all the thoughts and prayers. And if you guys are already sending fundraiser money down there to Houston, awesome. I'm going to do it right after the show. Shout out to J.J. Watt, who set up a fundraiser for Hurricane Harvey relief, donated $100,000 down there. He is corny, but he is impactful.
He is.
And he does a lot of good deeds. He's kind of like John Cena. He's everywhere, and everyone's like, he's corny, but actually he's amazing. You don't know who that is, do you?
John Cena?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Oh,
the
nice.
WWF wrestler that's got a 25-inch neck.
Exactly.
I saw him in a Jersey diner with his wrestling wife, right? Once I saw him.
Dude,
there.
you run into everybody.
I just keep my eyes open. They're not on the phone. They're not on an iPad. They're out enjoying life.
You ran into Trump's lawyer today.
Yep, and I walked behind him and acted like I was stabbing him in the back while I was crossing the street, and everybody was laughing, and he couldn't figure out why.
It's those stupid glasses. He's got those little circle glasses. He's like a little kid, Sims. He can't help himself. I got some notes from the fans. We did the whole thing about Blake Bortles last week about how he's a lefty, he's a righty. This is an issue. Benjamin Rosen said Nadal plays lefty, but he's a righty.
Yes, that's
and
right.
then Mahmoud Galai from Guitar chimed in and said Larry Bird, CC Sabathia, and Phil Mickelson as well. And then I looked it up, LeBron James and Michael Vick.
I knew LeBron James was. I was going to say that last night.
So he's
that's
a lefty
why
and he plays righty?
That's why his jump shot's not that good.
Oh, man.
It's a little Blake Bortles-ish.
There's been a murder. Also, the Mayweather-McGregor fight.
Yeah.
How did you watch it?
I watched it just actually at home on the couch with the wife. And, I was watching, of course, preseason football most of the night and then tuned in a little before the fight started.
Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it.
I did too.
Yes, very
Everyone's
much so.
saying it wasn't a good fight. I really enjoyed the fight.
Come on. I mean, we were at a point there where I was going, damn, I think McGregor might have won the first 5 or 6 rounds. He might outpoint the point master and Floyd Mayweather there for a little bit.
He put his hands behind
But
his
it's
back.
funny. I got to the point in the 6th or 7th round where I found myself grossly rooting for Floyd Mayweather.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, okay, this guy's not a
Knock him
boxer.
out.
There's nothing else. He's got no future in this.
Yeah.
Let's put him in his place.
Yeah, no, I was rooting for Conor.
Yeah, I hear you.
I bet everybody Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
And I wanted to see Floyd Mayweather knock him out, but yeah, I was rooting for.
Yeah, well, I mean, Floyd Mayweather, I think he was even shocked at how good of a boxer he was in this short of a time.
Your power rankings just came out.
Bam!
Check them out on Bleacher Report, or you can download the amazing BR app. 32, you have the Colts as the worst team in the NFL.
Yes, I think that is correct.
Below the Jaguars, below the Jets.
Well, yeah, I do. For right now, and listen, when I did this, I did not think that the Jaguars are going to be stupid enough to name Blake Bortles their starting quarterback, so I took that into account.
Wow.
But regardless, yeah, I think the Colts still, for my money, are the scariest team. Even look how they played and against Pittsburgh this week. They get a sack fumble against Big Ben. I mean, I don't know. And then Dante Moncrief catches a nice ball, breaks a tackle, runs for a long touchdown, or gets tackled at like the 2 or 3. But they played well in a way that I don't know if it's realistic to play that way week to week. You know what I mean? So it didn't change my thoughts at all.
Number 1, you have the Patriots.
Yes,
Number
sir.
2, the Giants.
Yes.
And rising from 7th to 3rd,
Yeah.
the Seattle Seahawks.
Yes, sir.
Who did they jump?
They jumped. Geez, the
But I mean,
Steelers.
who was 3?
Oh, no, the Steelers were 3. I had the Steelers 3, 4, the Chiefs 5, the Falcons. I've knocked the Falcons down to 8.
Wow.
And yes, I moved the Seahawks from 7 to 3.
Falcons offense, huh?
Falcons offense a little scary, certainly. Yes, I mean they're one of the 7 wonders of the NFL right now. I do.
What do you mean by that?
I just don't know if I can say they're going to replicate the way they played last year. I have concerns with the way their offensive line looks. They haven't really opened up a hole in the running game this preseason, and I just worry about the loss of Kyle Shanahan, and if maybe complacency and overconfidence has kind of set in, and they think, oh, Julio and Matt Ryan are here, we're just going to keep going. Doesn't look like the same system to me when I watch it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Something to note for your fantasy teams. A lot of news that have come out in the last few hours. John Harbaugh has been extended until 2019.
Wow, okay, good.
Jets have officially named McCown the starter. That's surprising.
I mean, what took so long? I mean, I don't know. We didn't come to this decision last week. I don't. It's unreal. It's unreal. It's one of the things I hate about football.
We're gonna get to that.
Okay,
later.
sorry.
Owa Adijazua, Giants suspended first 4 games.
I just heard somebody in the
for
hallway
violating PED policy.
Damn. Again,
And he hasn't been playing well, so I don't know what kind of PEDs he's taken.
Jeez, got that? Yeah, I don't know. He's got that kind of body that I would be a little suspect of. He is extremely rocked up, even for NFL standards, for a guy. Yeah, he is. I mean, that's all I could talk about coming out in the draft.
Reggie Ragland was traded to the Chiefs for a 4th-round pick. Reggie Ragland, the 2nd-round pick out of Alabama. Wasn't really the right system for Sean McDermott. You said this to me before. They're looking for more of the Carolina linebackers, and Ragland is a much more run-stopping in the middle. How big is this for a Chiefs team that we both believe could rival the Patriots?
It's huge. It's really, when you look at their roster, I think the one area you looked at with major concern, right? Their offensive line, no issues. Receivers, DBs, got guys on the edge of the defense in Houston, D Ford, that group. But I did worry about their middle linebacker play. Listen, Derek Johnson's not the same guy he was anymore. I mean, it's 2 Achilles injuries. Right. Ramik Wilson. I mean, they cut Ramik Wilson last year, and they brought him back like maybe a quarter of the way through the year. So they obviously don't think that highly of him. They traded to get the Kevin Pierre-Louis from Seattle. He comes into the 2nd team, but they needed a true thumping middle linebacker. And then you look at, like, they have to, their first 3 games, they got New England, who could easily just say, we're going to come out and try to overpower you. You never know, so you got to be ready for that. The Eagles, your team, 2nd week of the year, have a very good offensive line.
Yes.
And they got to worry about that run game. You get the Chargers the week after that, the Redskins, the Houston Texans, the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's the first 6 games of the year. All those teams have pretty good offensive lines. They needed it.
And Ragland had 3 snaps in the last preseason game.
I like Ragland.
Last news, Vontaze Burfict suspended 5 games for the illegal hit on Chiefs fullback Anthony Sherman. If you haven't seen the play, quarterback is going way over the top.
Right.
Fullback kind of does like an out and in route right in front of him. And Burfict just levels him.
Yes.
Suspended 5 games. A lot of people, including myself, said 5 seems excessive. You are the opposite.
I am. I'm the opposite. This is a repeat offender. This is Le'Veon Bell. I'm going to tackle you like you're a baby calf and like wrangle you and string you up. Antonio Brown over the middle, head concussion, stepping on LeGarrette Blount's legs last year when they were in the end zone. This is a guy that's toted the line. He's been warned. He's been fined. He obviously has no regard for player safety or the brotherhood of the NFL. Hey, listen, in the NFL, we all try to knock each other's heads off, but nobody's trying to blow somebody's knees off or knock their head off when they're not looking.
Yes.
And that's what he did there. It's the ultimate defenseless receiver. And, yeah, I mean, at 5 I thought was like the minimum. He deserves to lose like half the season for something like that.
He's going to appeal
it. The guy's career.
He's going to appeal it, but
Yeah.
because he's a repeat offender, do you think it gets listened to?
I don't think it will. If it gets lessened at all, it goes like one game. But I think he's got enough of a reputation. Now I know he did do a good job to try to clean it up last year. I think he only got one personal foul all last year, and he looks phenomenal playing this year.
That was what I said to you when he intercepted Kirk Cousins and took it back. I've never seen his body was so tight.
Right.
Like he always is carrying a pouch.
Well, he got a little
Didn't
love
have it.
handle there. No, he does not.
Carl Lawson, however, man, you're a guy. Hold on, but really quick on Burfict. You were saying if you really care about player safety, then you can't have a guy out there that's hurting people.
No, I mean, deliberately hurting people. I mean, someone that's kind of taken pride in it. And, I'm even a little bothered by, like, this is where I love Marvin Lewis because he sticks up for his guys, but he's come out there and said it's a legal hit. What legal hit? I mean, the ball was past the receiver, passed over Vontaze Burfict's head, and then he literally tried to kill the guy. And he's lucky he didn't hurt him and concuss him. I think this is one area that I am truly that and PEDs. Just it can't go on. Cheap shots like that are ridiculous.
Well, the cheap shots can lead to injuries, and this weekend the big storyline was undoubtedly injuries. I have warned you guys now for weeks. You're going to be seeing ACL epidemic everywhere, and the numbers are starting to come in.
Where are the numbers at now?
Numbers at right now. It's all going to come down to the Bears' long snapper Patrick Scales is going in for an MRI.
Okay.
If he tears his ACL, that's 25. Wow. 25 ACLs. As a reminder, last year there were 22 in the preseason. The year before that, 26. The year before that, 22. And the year before that, 31. 25 sounds big, but we're right on average.
Yes.
That's the crazy thing. But here were the big names. Not included in that were Spencer Ware, who just tore his PCL
yes.
out for the season. Mm-hmm. And Andy Reid is going with rookie Kareem Hunt out of Toledo to be the starter.
Yeah.
C.J. Spiller, and Sharkandrick West is there.
Right.
Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Is he a guy that can carry a team to the playoffs?
He can. And you,
really?
Yeah, and all you got to know, he's valued highly because Spencer Ware got hurt. They only let Kareem Hunt run the ball one more time, and they took him out because that shows you he's the guy. And yes, he is really impressive. Again, more of a squatty power build.
Is there anything to the fact that the Chiefs running back coach has been the guy at the combine for the last 10 years doing the running back drills?
Gosh, they've been lucky. Even before that, they had the old, Eric Bellamy.
Bellamy.
Bieniemy, right, sleeping with Bieniemy.
Yeah.
So, of course, he was an ex-running back. He had the eye for it and evaluating guys like Jamal Charles and all that.
So many guys over the years.
They're amazing.
Priest and Jamal Charles.
And I think you got to give your man Andy a little credit, too. Andy's got a little eye for that position.
Westbrook,
Exactly.
Deuce Staley,
right.
Carell Buckhalter.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
He's got the eye.
We have another injury that just came on the Bleacher Report app, downloaded in the App Store. Redskins starting nose tackle Phil Taylor out for the season with a quad injury.
That stinks. Poor Phil. And Phil, by all accounts, you watch on film, has looked pretty good. They were raving about him a little bit in Redskins camp.
And they need size.
And they do.
OBJ's ankle could be out for the season opener. I'm thinking he could be out more.
Oh, well, listen, you know my stance, everybody. OBJ, take your time until you're 100%. In fact, wait till 110%.
In fact, wait till 170%.
And when you think you're ready, take another week because they don't care about you and your $1.8 million.
Let me get through some of these other injuries. Tyrod Taylor has a concussion. TJ Yates has a concussion. That means that the only quarterback available on Buffalo right now is Nathan Peterman, which is crazy.
Peterman.
Cowboys linebacker Anthony Hitchen out 8 weeks with a knee fracture. Cam Meredith, ACL injury, out for the season.
That's big.
That is big. Ravens linebacker Albert McClellan, the special teams ace for them, out for the season with ACL.
Yeah.
Another Bears ACL, that long snapper Patrick Scales we're waiting on.
Right.
And then Julian Edelman tears his ACL. Luckily, he signed a 2-year, $11 million contract with $7 million guaranteed before the season.
Yep.
So he did get that $7 million paid.
Can you believe that price tag for Julian Edelman?
It's
it's
unreal. Nothing.
It's New Englandy. That's just what they do.
They get everybody for so cheap.
We have the best slot offense in football. You can go somewhere else, but there won't be Tom Brady or Bill Belichick.
Gronk is getting nothing.
I know. This is the way he does it. They realize that they're having special success up there.
Man.
And
That's why it's hard to compare.
Yes.
But in that Edelman, let's start now. Sims's text takes. These are Sims's texts that he sends over the weekends that if we don't say, he's going to get really pissed. I stole them from Canvasser because you forgot to send them to me.
Well, I mean, we texted you at one point yesterday, and there was no reaction from your phone, so I wasn't sure.
Plane.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were like stuck in the hurricane either. So then I just said, let me go to Mad Ice.
Pat, you texted. Patriots won't miss a beat without Edelman. Another big one. Ely gone, no big deal.
Right.
But you don't think they're going to miss a beat without Edelman?
I really don't. I mean, listen, I know Julian Edelman's hard to replace. He's really awesome. There's no denying that. But this is a team that's built for every disaster possible. They've thought about it. And Julian Edelman, the slot receiver, is such a vital part of the success of the offense. You really think Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels are going to just, leverage the whole farm on, man, well, I hope our one slot receiver stays healthy. And if he doesn't, our offense is screwed. That's why they have like 4 of these guys in theory with Brandon Cooks, Amendola. Chris Hogan's very good in the slot. So between
Deion Lewis.
Yes, go on.
Rex Burkhead could do it.
Exactly.
James White could do it.
There you go.
Matthew
They're going to find
Harris
ways to
chimes
do it.
in. What about Austin Carr?
Austin Carr's been phenomenal. The kid out of Northwestern. They like him as well. I don't know if he's necessarily as good in the slot yet, but they're going to groom him to where he'll be able to do it to a degree. But, what you said, Lefko, the running back thing is really the other part that people miss. You got to look at them a little bit in the receiver manner. They can line them up at slot receiver. They do it all the time. Or they'll just run the same plays they ran with Edelman, but Deion Lewis will be in the backfield next to a Brady, and they'll design the same play somehow down the field, and then he'll come out and run that option route against the linebacker.
What about his role in the locker room?
Yeah.
What was he in the locker room?
He just Joe Cool. I mean, really, he's just a funny guy, really quick-witted.
Is he a guy
ball
that makes
energy.
the team confident?
Yeah, he's a guy that I think makes the team cocky and tougher. I think he brings a toughness to the wide receiver room and the offensive room, a toughness to a wide receiver room that you don't usually see in wide receivers in general. Like there's a group of guys there. They get off on like, ooh, I knocked the safety down on 3rd and 1 run.
Interesting.
And so he brings that type of attitude, and of course he's fearless over the middle.
We had a comment here. Marcelo Rodriguez says, would have been worse if they had lost Cooks.
No, I don't think it would have been worse. No, I think Julian Edelman's about as, if you made me rank them, I mean, you'd rank them Brady, Gronk, Julian Edelman as far as order of importance.
Right.
And they can withstand any of them, like we saw last year. Brady, he's out. They go 3-1. How many times have we seen Gronk miss time over the last few years?
So there's literally no injuries that would ruin the Patriots for you?
Not really. No, not at this point. They're pretty – I mean –
Even Brady. If they lost Brady, Gronk, and Edelman, would you still pick them to win the Super Bowl? All three.
Oh.
And I don't want this to happen.
No. If they lost Brady and Edelman, and then no, I don't think you could do it with all 3. I think they could get away with 2.
You think you can get away with 2? So
I
if
do.
they lost Gronk and Edelman, they're fine. If they lost Brady and Edelman, they're fine.
I think so.
So Garoppolo, Gronk, Malcolm Mitchell, Brandon Cooks, they could still get it done.
I mean, they could certainly be a threat. I'm not saying they're going to win it. I wouldn't be as confident, but I wouldn't be like, oh man, they made it to the AFC Championship.
Nicholas Kissel asked the real question: what if Bill missed time?
Oh, that would change things. That would change things. Bill, listen, the number one concern the New England Patriots had, and I'm not even trying to bring this subject up, the Deflategate week of preparing for the Super Bowl. You remember this. When they were preparing for Seattle, the thing that the New England Patriots were most upset about was they lost their best coach for 3 days, having to come up with science experiments and defend Brady and Deflategate. So that was the big stress in the building. Like, damn. We need Bill over here with us right now. And
he was doing like the gas law.
And he was, doing the gas law and doing press conferences and whatever else. So that just tells you the value, even the way they value him.
We'll stay on the Patriots because they're the best team in football by a landslide. They did release Coney Ely. The report from Mike Garafolo was they tried him in their scheme. Not a similar style to Ninkovich, so it didn't work out. No. He was claimed by the Jets off waivers. But you told me that there's some hidden gems on this Patriots team that made him expendable, and I've never heard of these people.
Yeah, well, it's really hard to know of them, again, because they never pub their own players, right? So you never hear Bill Belichick go, hey, that undrafted rookie we got out there, he is amazing. He's really playing
There's
well.
no big off seasons in New England.
There never is. And even
I've
though
never,
they're happening,
right.
you know?
I haven't thought about it.
Right, where like other coaches are going to be like, oh, you should see this undrafted guy we got. He's really been, they'll talk about these
Because they're
type of players.
excited.
Right. So Bill does a great job of keeping them under wraps.
All right, so who are these two guys?
Yeah, all right. So they draft Coney Ely. The first thing that you have to take into account here, yes, he's a true D end. I don't think he could do the outside linebacker stuff. That's probably what scared them. They released him because they knew they could release him. The first guy you have to think about and we lost Ninkovich, so we go, ooh, they're a little thin out there. This is where I think it's going to shape up. Dante Hightower, I think, is going to end up being an outside linebacker.
He's starting to take snaps today at end.
That makes sense. So there you go. He did it in Alabama. He does it for them a lot as is anyways. You saw him come off the edge and hit Matt Ryan, right? So I think he'll going to take up that spot. The other guy you got to look at for it, number 70, I'm going to mess up his name, Adam Butler from Vandy. Undrafted free agent, he was in the conversation for the most impressive guy on the field defensively for the Patriots this past weekend.
Wow.
And he's really good. True defensive end. Hey, maybe they can stand him up. I haven't seen him do that yet.
Yeah.
But at least he's a true D end, and he can do that part of what Coney Ely would be missed.
And they have another guy from BYU that was undrafted.
Harvey Langley. Am I saying that right, guys? Lange? Either way, he's Lange. Thank you, Lange. But yes, he starts last week. And again, a Ninkovich-looking type guy. And then I'll add to this. This is the surprise to me because I hated this draft pick. Jordan Richards, the safety out of Stanford.
Yes.
Never thought it would work. Thought he was too slow. Thought he was unathletic. They've made him kind of the third safety dime linebacker. And he's been in the middle of the defense, been very impressive there. But they've even put him outside at outside linebacker, Lefko, which is crazy. And when he lined up there, I was like, is something wrong here? And he can physically hang in there with the big boys. So here we go. Bill Belichick, the evil genius, at it again.
It's unbelievable. Those are some of Sims's hidden gems. We're going to have more a little bit later. This is the time of the year where we try and give you guys a few weeks advantage before everybody else. We're going to be able to identify guys that other podcasts and other shows just don't. It's because we're the Players Podcast and we have this weird whiz kid over here that watches film.
No, don't just say we, but we watch. I mean, we freaking watch.
Rodell Deanna here, Chris Adam Jags fan here. Can one of you call Tom Coughlin and tell him to cut Blake Bortles? It would be appreciated. Thanks. That leads to another Sims text take. How many lives do Hackenberg and Bortles get?
I mean,
Blake Bortles named the starter. Marone says Bortles' ability to extend plays was one reason he chose Blake over Henne because of the concern over the O-line. I was sitting in the airport on Sunday and I said, wow, they announced they're going to play Bortles over Henne. Let me put on this film really quick in the airport and watch how bad Chad Henne must have been to lose his job to Blake freaking Bortles.
Yep.
And I watched two perfect bombs that were completed for like 40 yards each, and a third that was dropped by Allen Robinson.
Right.
I saw a frantic quarterback scramble in which he threw his life out there and dove and got out the one, and I went, Henne played well.
Yes.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I don't even know what to say. First, I'm sick of Jacksonville. I'm just going to say that right away. I'm sick of talking about their talent, their potential. They ain't crap, okay? I'm sick of talking about it. They're overrated. I'm sick of talking about it, what they could be, a playoff run. But the Blake Bortles thing bothers me. I mean, it's truly like, it's just ridiculous. I don't even know what you could be thinking. Of course, Chad Henne's outplayed him the last 2 weeks. I mean, we're going into year 4 of just way below average play at the position. And the worst of all is you've basically sold to your team that you're not trying to win or do anything special this year. Because those guys in that locker room know from at least practice and these last 2 preseason games that Chad Henne's the better player. You're giving them no belief. And that's where I just go, gosh, how do you sell that to your football team? That's when things can get ugly if they lose a few games early in the year. Players will give up. Players will be like, what the hell? You guys aren't trying to win anyways.
You looked at me and said, Caldwell is at it again. It was his pick. He's trying to force him.
I think.
You've heard rumors that he's trying to talk to people and build up Bortles yet again
Yes.
in year 5.
Right.
I thought this was Coughlin's team. I thought this was Marone's team. I thought this was no-nonsense military. If you want it, you got it. Malik Jackson sat right here between us and said nobody wants to mess with them. They're scary as hell. And here they are. Bortles.
I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say.
You don't have any idea of what it could be.
I have no answer for you. I really don't.
And the film to you was completely clear. This last game, Bortles in the second half.
Bortles did some good things, certainly, but he started the game off inaccurate, threw an interception, and certainly made some throws against some backup players, and really not a very talented Carolina secondary in general.
No.
The starters aren't that great, let alone the backups and third stringers. So I just don't know what they could have saw. And to me, just my years of football knowledge, I'm just going to go, yes, that Caldwell got to make another call here and vouch for his guy and stand on the table, but I'm really interested to see where this goes. I don't get it.
Michael Jascott says, tell the people Sims. Jacksonville's hyped every year because they're players, but they haven't done jack.
Yeah.
And then Quinn McGuire, they don't want to admit that drafting him at 3 was a mistake. And Caldwell, look, man, if you don't have the offensive line to protect him, it's probably because your second pick in the draft, Luke Jokel's playing guard for the Seahawks.
There we
right
go.
now.
So what? See, why can they cut ties with that guy though? You know what I mean? Like they can cut ties with him, even though he outperformed Blake Bortles.
Because when an alignment gets beat and allows a sack, he's a schlub. He's an idiot. Remember Blake Bortles threw for 4,500 yards and 45 touchdowns, whatever it was. That one season is fucking
Clouds
with
people's
everyone's
brains.
heads.
Yeah.
I had to curse. I had to get one out there.
Good.
I guess the way to do it correctly, though, the Browns announcing Deshaun Kaiser as their starter. What does that say to their team?
Yes, there's Hugh Jackson being a leader of a football team and going, hey, listen, you guys have seen we haven't moved the ball when Osweiler's in the game in the preseason, and I'm sure in practice Kaiser's the one making the more physically impressive plays. You got a guy like Kenny Britt and Corey Coleman who can get down the field where an Osweiler won't be able to take advantage of that kind of ability to stretch the field. And yes, they're going with the younger, talented guy. Certainly might make a few more mistakes than Osweiler, but he's going to make more plays. And really the other thing he does, he allows them to have more offense. Because once this regular season starts, too, I think you're going to see Deshaun Kaiser with the read option threat and those kind of things. It's just another element to their offense that he can bring that Osweiler can't. And he's looked good to this point.
Let me get a quick updated Sims quarterback rankings of the rookies.
Yeah.
Kaiser, Watson, Trubisky, and Mahomes.
Oh.
Number 1, is it still Trubisky?
I think it's still Trubisky. It's
he
really
looked
close,
so
though.
freaking good against the Titans.
Yeah, and Mahomes will be 2. And Mahomes looked really good against Seattle, too.
I still
Don't
have
look at the
Mahomes
stat
at number
line.
1.
Yeah.
So Trubisky 1, Mahomes 2, Kaiser 3,
Yeah.
Watson 4.
Yeah.
Guys, Watson doesn't look good.
Yeah, Watson
I told Watson to his face I thought he was going to be the best quarterback in the draft.
Yep.
And he looks erratic. He's running around. He's throwing the ball in really scary situations. He looks like he truly needs a year.
Yes, I think so. I think I'm definitely.
But we kind of knew that.
We did. We kind of knew that. I think we were thinking like, with the way training camp started and you heard the buzz and the first game looked pretty good, you go, ooh, maybe he can build on this and there's something there. But no, it kind of went the other way. As the more we played, it exposed his rawness,
Yes.
I think. And he just has more to learn from in the pocket, and there's nothing wrong with that. Listen, he was at Clemson. It's not the greatest place to learn quarterback pocket play for the NFL. And the other thing that's come into play, and you saw a little of the game too, is just that's where the arm strength thing a little scares me. They're just, when there's tight coverage, he is not able to drive the ball into a tight window like a Trubisky or a Mahomes. Not to this point yet.
They whip it.
Which they can really fire it, yes.
Yeah, they have stronger arms than Kaiser, but Kaiser has such a beautiful deep ball.
Oh, my gosh, he does.
It's just got this wonderful arc to it.
Great arc, right.
And so you came out last week.
I came out, everybody.
And you shocked your friend Mike Lombardi, I know that, by saying that Jared Goff is living up to that title by the first pick in the draft.
Me so stupid, Chris Sims.
And then you watched the Chargers game and went, oh, shit, I messed up.
I literally was, okay, yes, I gave Jared Goff some praise last week. I thought, wow, he looked pretty good against Oakland, and he's on the right track. I like what I saw.
And our friend Lombardi called you and said, Christopher,
what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
Christopher,
Did you see the defenses Oakland was playing? Come on. Don't make that judgment yet.
So Goff looked okay. And then Bosa came around the corner.
Well, I got to set it up even more. So Rivers and them go right down and score, right? And I go,
they look good.
They look
Chargers
good.
look really good.
They do. Rams get the ball back, and I'm going, okay, Jared Goff's driving the team down the field, he's going to answer Phillip Rivers. I go, this kid is officially turning the corner. Open side, not his blind side, looking down the field. Strip sack fumble, Joey Bosa. First of all, I'd like him to have more field, a feel that that's coming, right?
He's running right at his face
right.
and just goes, Haraya.
And I mean, just knocks the ball out. Strip sack fumble, Melvin Ingram returns it for a touchdown, and then the wheels fell off. And that's what's scary to me because then the next series he throws a horrible interception down the middle to Sammy Watkins where it was like he was in the pocket and he didn't know what to do and he wasn't sure about his decision. He threw a wobbler up there, and you saw Jason Verrett return it a little bit. And then they got him out there for maybe one more series where he had a little success, and then they got him out. And to me, those are the signals I look for. Like, why would you take him out at that point?
Yeah, why not let him battle back?
Continue to battle. So that tells me, and I might be wrong, but that they're still building his confidence, that he is a little bit fragile, and they were more worried about something else bad happening than him battling through it and maybe it not looking perfect.
But don't worry, you weren't the only guy that would like to take one back. Whoa, bad prediction. Vikings are not looking good, so my little sentence last week is looking rough. Washington's offense. What's interesting is Washington and Atlanta both lost their play callers, and both of their offenses has looked really stale this preseason.
Yes.
There's part of me that wants to say, well, maybe they're not showing a lot of the playbook.
Sure.
But I don't think that's it.
No, and that would be the type of place too where I would go. Their playbook, they got a lot in their playbook, and they should have enough in at this point to where it wouldn't even matter. And with their skill level, Lefko, I would just think they would be able to.
You talking Atlanta?
No, I'm talking Washington right now. Yeah, that they would be able to be a little more efficient on that side of the ball. I mean, when you break it down, you think of preseason game number 1, it wasn't sharp against the Ravens. They got steamrolled, really. Preseason game number 2 against the Packers wasn't very impressive either. In fact, they had to go on a 2-minute drive at the end of the half to
get points,
to get the first time points and yardage all together. And then yesterday was off to a slow start too. You saw the Burfict fumble, interception. Sorry, they did have a drop pass here and there, Terrell Pryor. But yeah, I've been a little underwhelmed by what I've seen, not only in the passing game, but they've been pushed around up front on both sides of the ball. And that is, I think, what's a little more concerning to me than anything.
The scary thing I was thinking about Washington was, who's the guy that's a speedster?
You mean
I feel like
Crowder?
Doxson, Pryor, Reed, all those guys are great 8-yard, 10-yard guys.
Sure.
And then you have, I guess, Crowder.
Crowder's got to be the guy. Really, I think still Pryor's going to be the main go-to deep guy.
Gotcha.
I do think he's got the most speed to go deep, like 50-yard bomb style.
I know Sal Primahita just came in and asked us to start over. Well, we're going to touch Raiders now, Sal, and I know that's your team.
What the hell, Sal? Where you been?
Where you been, buddy? Where you been? Raiders, Cowboys. This is another Sims texted take. Two teams that are considered in the top of the NFL, and the offenses better play awesome because their defenses are really concerning.
Yes.
Again.
Now,
the Dallas defense exceeded expectations last year.
Yeah.
Sean Lee played great. They lost their entire secondary. It feels like their entire D-line is suspended.
Yeah.
But Dak looked great, but that Dallas defense looks bad, huh?
Dak is awesome. I don't doubt him in any way. There's no sophomore slump. It ain't going to happen. I'm already sold of that. He's too calm. He's too collected. He's got too much talent. It's not going to happen. But I do really worry about their defense. I mean, you see what Derek Carr did to them. Too many easy completions all around the field. Too many easy completions all preseason long for the Dallas Cowboys in my eyes. And, yeah, I mean, I don't love the scheme. They have no great pass rusher. Tyrone Crawford's beat up right now, okay? And then they got a lot of young guys that are questions right now in the secondary. Yeah, we know Scandrick. Scandrick's not quite as good as he used to be ever since he hurt his knee. Anthony Brown, I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's a world beater at this point. Chidobe Awuzie, I think, is a little banged up. He didn't play in this last game. Jordan Lewis does look good, but is a rookie. Xavier Woods is going to be like a third or fourth safety type. They got another kid, too. I'm going to blank on his name. He's 39, Marquez White, another rookie at a Florida State, where he's getting significant playing time. Yeah, and not only do I not think the scheme's good, I'm just not sold on all the players yet either.
Do you like Cooper Rush?
Yes. I like him better than Lefty LaRue.
Kellen
Moore.
Moore.
The last of the lefties.
And then Raiders defense.
Raiders defense are my same type of issues.
That's probably why Goff looks so good.
Well, yeah, exactly. So that was one little concern there. And then, yeah, I mean, Dak Prescott throwing to people wide open all over the field. They need to get Garyon Conley out there. Carl Joseph does not live up to expectations in my eye yet. I like the way Obi Melifonwu looks, Lefko. They bring him in as that dime linebacker to play like that Deion Buchanan thing.
I love that.
And he really moves. In fact, I think he looks better to me than Carl Joseph as is right now. I'd almost think I'd maybe make him my safety. But they need Garyon Conley. Sean Smith, David Amerson, they're good. They're just not good enough. But I worry about their system and their coverages to go along with that as well. So I got concerns. They got a lot of young guys starting on the Raiders right now, man. A lot of rookies. Vanderhoos, the kid from UCLA, he's starting on the defensive tackle spot right now. They got guys like Markel Lee at linebacker. They got a lot of young guys they're trying out. So you can tell they're not set on their personnel on the defensive side of the ball yet.
I got someone that if you want to go and bet in Vegas for an early MVP vote, this one you might get some pretty good odds. I'm going to look it up right now. Canvasser, if you can do the same, what his odds are. The guy that's looking Aaron Rodgers right now is Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
You texted Russell Wilson best preseason ever. He looks great. I mean, Roger-ish. And they're doing more on offense.
They are.
He looks like a different guy.
Yes. I mean,
his body looks different. His arm looks different. His accuracy looks different.
Right.
And he was already great.
I know. We were going to try to get I wanted to get a cutout of like old Wilson and new Wilson to show the people a little bit. Because, yeah, I don't know how much weight he's said he's lost or whatever, but it looks like it's a good 15, 20 pounds at least. Lightning fast. I'm talking lightning fast. In fact, who's the fastest quarterback in football right now? I mean, am I missing anybody? It's him, right? Colin Kaepernick's not playing. I don't think I'm missing anybody else as far as pure speed. It's probably him and Mariota, right? In a flat-out race. I'd probably take Mariota in a flat-out race, but Russell Wilson's quickness is unreal. But, guys, you just got to go watch the highlights. Watch some of the throws he's made against Minnesota last week or this past game against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, he made one throw to Curse. He ran to his left at full speed and threw a 40-yard bomb to Kirsch running to his left. I mean, on the money, into tight coverage, just so many plays like that where I just go, they're possessed, I think, the Seahawks. They really are. And you know me, I haven't been defending them for a few years. They are a legit Super Bowl contender in my eye. First time since 2014.
Russell Wilson right now 12-1 to win MVP.
Ooh.
Just ahead of Derek Carr, tied with Zeke, behind Matt Ryan. Don't bet Matt Ryan.
Don't bet Matt Ryan.
It's not going to happen. So Russell Wilson, is it all the weight loss? And wait, you said the offense is different.
The offense is different. The weight loss, he's Russell Wilson likes to do this to throw, right? He's even tightened that up to where it just doesn't drop it quite as low. It stays like above his waistline for the most part, so his release is quicker. But yes, the offense does look like it's doing more in all capacities, Lefko. Not just scheme, but they're being more creative with formations. I like what I see so far. And even though I know they lost George Fant, they got Bouchier and Golwinski battling out for right guard, and then the left guy is the left tackle is he's a Abuye. What the heck's his name?
Reese Odebayo.
Odiambo.
Yes.
He looked good as well. So I do have faith in their offensive line that they're going to open up some holes in the run game this year.
Yeah, I love Russell.
I like his new helmet too. This is not his new helmet you see on the graphic here if you're watching. His new helmet is cool. Got a new face mask.
His new face mask.
And a new helmet
like
altogether. It fits differently.
All right, so now let's go to a segment that I'm calling I Think Sims is Drunk. This is when he makes a bold prediction at work, and I go, he's probably got some 1942 under his desk. 1942, call us. We'd love to have your tequila as a sponsor of this podcast. First one, you said to me today, Landon Collins is the best safety in football. You're ready.
I'm ready to say that. I don't think I didn't even drink 1942 to make that comment. I feel good about that. Totally sober.
That's a good one. How many shots of 1942 did Sims have before this? Not a shot. No shots.
Landon Collins is a freak show. I do think he's taken the mantle as the best safety in football. I think when you just look at it overall, pass coverage and ability to tackle around the line of scrimmage, I think he has passed up a Cam Chancellor for the best all-around safety in the game in my eyes. Yeah.
and he's like 23.
Oh, he's a stud. I mean, the Giants' defense is scary. I mean, you could see they might let up a few plays here and there, but they're going to make a handful of plays every. I mean, what they scored? They scored 16 points on their own last week. Safety and 2 pick sixes.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Next one. How many shots in 1942 was it when you said Fletcher Cox is the best defensive tackle in football?
Yes, sir. And not only the best, he has officially taken the throne from Ndamukong Suh in my eyes as the most powerful force on the inside in the game.
Really?
And yeah, that's saying a lot. Fletcher Cox, I am extremely impressed with for this reason, and I'll take Marcel Darius to make my point. He got franchise money, Fletcher Cox, and from that point, he's realized he's the franchise. He's played phenomenal. He says the right things in the media. He hasn't gotten in trouble. He's doing everything right. And that's when your team can be successful, when the highest, best paid player is showing everybody, no, this is the way. Marcel Darius, on the other hand, got the same contract. All he's done is gotten fatter, in trouble, drugs, arrests,
kicked out of
team meetings, whatever it may be.
But what you're seeing from Fletcher right now on the field is that dominant.
Fletcher Cox, I think there's only 2 guards in football I can say that I think can handle him.
Martin and Osemele.
Probably, right.
Yeah.
I don't even think a Marshall Yanda can handle him on a regular basis.
What was he not doing last year that you couldn't say this last year?
Well, no, he was on the way there last year. I mean, think about early in the year when we were like, oh my gosh.
Well, that's my fear, is that it's going to stop halfway through.
Well, it gets to the point, too, where teams they just reorganize their game planning. They just go, okay, we're stupid. We can't block this guy with one lineman. We need 2 on him all the time. So that changed his stat output.
Fernando Rodriguez asks, it's preseason. How you know they're that good off, I don't know what that means, to a half of football? So I guess the question he's really asking is how much can we really glean from preseason football?
Yeah, it's tough. It's certainly a projection. I might be wrong. But what I always look at is reoccurring problems, right? Like when I see Minnesota let up 200 yards in the first half to Russell Wilson last week, and then last night against the 49ers are getting bombed away again. And that leads me to think, ooh, there is something going on in their secondary, whether it's the scheme or communications issues. But I just try to piece it together. I mean, last year we thought Arizona didn't look very good in the preseason. You know what happened during the season?
Got their ass
They
kicked.
weren't very good.
Yeah.
And all the issues you kind of saw. So, yeah, not everybody's game planning. But there's certain things that continue to show up where there's the offensive line getting pushed around every week. You know, you get pushed around for 4 weeks in a row in the preseason. Chances are, I think the regular season, you're going to get pushed around a little bit too.
You also had another hidden gem next to Ndamukong Suh. I thought Jordan Phillips was a starter. I wasn't looking close enough. Who is this guy?
Devon Godshaw. I want to say Godshaw every time. But
so he's a rookie out of LSU.
Rookie out of LSU, 6'3". You see him there. He's 310. All ass and legs team for Sims. I mean, really looks apart. Looks like Ndamukong Suh from behind, which is good looking for a defensive tackle. But can get off the ball, but more or less than anything, just phenomenal power presence in the middle there for them to where he can be a space eater. He really can take on double teams, but has enough athleticism to be disruptive at times. He's really just a better version of Phillips. But their D-line, man, their D-line is something to watch out for. You know, you think about the Harris, the first-round pick from Missouri.
Charles Harris.
William Hayes has looked really good.
Doesn't believe in dinosaurs.
Right, doesn't believe in dinosaurs. Ex-teammate of mine, little cuckoo. I like him. He's a little cuckoo. We need to get him on here, actually. He'd be fun.
Yes.
And, you know, guys like Branch, number 50. The defense with Timmons and Kiko Alonso, I've liked the way the Dolphins have looked this preseason. And you know what? Jay Cutler looked really good again, too.
He does look good.
Yes, he does.
And Devontae Parker looks ready to take
breakout season. He's gonna interject his name into top 10 receiver in football this year. That would be another prediction I'd have.
If he doesn't get hurt,
yes.
That was my issue with him the last few years. He keeps getting banged up. Danny Young, Sims and Lefko. How good did Hoyer and the Niners offense look?
Bam! Oh, it's the best the 49ers offense has looked since Billy Walsh and since Mikey Shanahan in '94. I mean, this is the genius of Kyle. Kyle can find a few speed guys. He finds they had a decent O-line there. He gets his running back, and he knows how to stress defenses out. That's the brilliance of him. He understands, like, when I'm in this formation, they like to do this, and he's great design of plays. play action fake away, deep post over the backside
It's his
there.
number one play.
And yes, he capitalizes on it.
Quinn McGuire, how do you think Jonathan Allen will do?
I think Jonathan Allen's going to be real good. I don't know if he's going to necessarily jump out to all of us with like great statistics, but you notice him when you watch the Redskins. He can do everything on the D-line. I mean, he's a baller. I like him and the kid Ryan Anderson for that Redskins defense.
Sebastian Saradsky, which rookie are you most impressed with in the preseason so far?
Oh, gosh. I knew that was going to come. Hold on. Let me look at the
mine
teams.
Is Myles Garrett.
Oh, man. Was that phenomenal?
I know it's corny to take the first pick in the draft, but when you see this dude bend around offensive linemen and being like 6 inches off the ground, he's unbelievable. He's getting triple teamed in his third preseason.
Yeah, he was phenomenal in the game, and I actually just watched that film a little bit, and I was extremely impressed there. Hold on, let me just I want to make sure probably Trubisky or Mahomes. I hate to do the quarterback thing for you, everybody, but Trubisky has really been a pleasant surprise, like out of this world, phenomenal. I'm going through some of the other names. I mean, O.J. Howard certainly has showed up. But no, I think so far out of the first round guys, that would be my pick, along with maybe Reuben Foster, with the two guys that have just been absolutely through the roof as far as first round draft picks.
Nick Smith, this might be a fantasy question. Who do you think the Seahawks start at running back?
I think they're going to start the kid from Oklahoma. It depends where Rawls is, but Chris Carson. I do think he's going to be the guy. I watch a Chris Carson and I go, I almost thought a little Sean Alexander-ish. Not that good. Don't pump the brakes there. But he has that same type of body, big square shoulders, pretty good feet. It's not breakaway speed, but it's enough speed to get 30 and 40-yard chunks when need be. And he really catches the ball well. I don't know if, like, the first play of the game, they did a play-action fake to him, Lefko. Wilson drops back and then does like a 360 pirouette and runs in a circle for like 4 seconds, but then finally runs out and throws like a back shoulder fade to Chris Carson, and he catches it like a receiver. He's impressive.
This is the second time I've had this guy named, and I'm sure it's from the same person. Jayon Brown, a linebacker from the Titans.
Yes. I gotta give a closer look. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to answer it, honestly. So
Ernie Busan saying the Saints, how about their defense? 18 sacks in 3 games, and they've only allowed 13 points.
If you've been watching anything I've said on Bleacher Report here for the last 2 weeks, I've been saying watch out for the Saints. The Saints are going to win the NFC South. That's what I'm saying right now. Yes. The Saints
over the Bucs in this offense.
I think so. I do.
Over the Panthers.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. And over then, Atlanta, who I expect to be a hair down. The Saints' secondary is deep. Their defensive line, Sheldon Rankins, of course, always pops. Haoli Kakaha being back in the mix is impressive. We know that Cam Jordan's really good. You know, you got to remember they got the Stephon Anthony there from Clemson at linebacker, who is another year down the line as far as progression. Marshawn Lattimore. Lattimore is good. I didn't get to watch this film from this Texans game yet, but I will. I got to download it here on the computer. But I've been really impressed with their secondary in general.
Awesome. Coming up on Wednesday, we are having our big season prediction edition of the podcast. We're going to do MVP, we're going to do playoff teams, and we are going to pick a Super Bowl winner. We want next week's podcast to be able to break down game 1. We don't want to have to do all the season, all that, so we're going to be doing our big season predictions on Wednesday now that all the Week 3 preseason games are over. We're also going to tell you how Tony Romo is already in trouble in his new gig. I will be doing more of the talking on that one than Sims will be because, it's just not a good look.
I don't know. CBS doesn't employ me anymore, so.
And also, we're going to give you the reason Atlanta's new stadium could prevent them from returning to the Super Bowl. Could be interesting. Something to look out for. Guys, you are awesome as always. Subscribe on iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review, and I will make sure to read it on the podcast. We already have like 15 to 20 new ones since last episode, so thank you guys so much. It's always fun to read them. Thank you for watching us on Facebook Live. During the year, we'll be right here every Monday at 4 o'clock, recapping Sunday, previewing Monday night, and we'll have shows throughout the week that I'll fill you in on another time. Fendrick, wherever you are, I hope the meeting and the doc is incredible. For Sims,
peace out, homies.
I'm Lefko. Have a good evening, everybody. We'll talk to you guys later.